Hey, church. This is Pastor Mark, and we are glad you are here with us again. And I'm glad that you're taking a moment out of your night. And so, what I want you to do is this morning or this evening, as it is, will you just do me a favor as you're kind of logged on? Will you tag some people in the comments below? Will you share this? And kind of get the word out to anyone who's a part of the Church of the Gates or anyone who's kind of logging on to live stream. We want to make sure that kind of these updates go out to as many people as possible. We're going to email them out to people. We're streaming live to YouTube right now. But if you could share this with as many people as you could right now, start a watch party or whatever, that'll make sure words like this or information like this gets out relatively easily. And so what I want to do is I want to just kind of start with like what it looks like for you to get information from us. And our job, our hope is to over communicate things just because things have changed. A week ago, things were different. And now we're kind of in this era where we're disconnected and there's social media and email and all these things. And so what we want to do is kind of give you some ways that you can begin to make sure you're hearing from us as we're trying to communicate information and all of that to you. So like number one you could do is you could go to the iTunes App Store or the Android App Store and search Church at the Gates. We have a church app. And what's really helpful for is one, daily Bible reading. Two, you can keep up with the sermons. Now, you won't be able to watch the sermons live on that app, but you will get them loaded on, I think, Monday right after it loads up, and so you'll be able to listen to it afterwards. Or you can take that app and go through some Bible reading, and we use it for announcements. But what really is critical at this point, at this particular season, it's a great way for us to send you push notifications. So things that maybe like this particular night, this particular session here, I pushed through the app to make sure we could try to get some exposure through that. And so go download the app if you don't have it yet. That's one really great way to get connected with Church of the Gates. The other is you can subscribe to our newsletter or Facebook or YouTube page. And what I want to do just real quick is I want to show you what it looks like to subscribe to our newsletter. If you go to churchatthegates.org, we've kind of added a couple different buttons at the very top where you just scroll down just a little bit. One is that join online button, and then right below that is a need prayer button. And so if you need prayer, we love you, church. We miss you. And we definitely don't want to be deprived of the joy and the honor of praying for you. And so if you will click on that need prayer button, that would give us a chance to, you can put your name, your email address, and gives us a chance, one, to pray for you, and then follow up with you to see how you're doing and just let you know you are not forgotten in the middle of this chaos. And the second thing you can do on that page is you can join our newsletter. Now listen, we know like people don't get emails, or they get too many emails, and you've gotten COVID emails from your famous footwear, and that one time you bought that dress from that store 10 years ago, everyone's sending you all these emails. But listen, we want to make sure you have what you need. And so in that lower red circle there, get email updates from Church of the Gates. If you're not on our newsletter list, we want you on there so we can communicate this to you. And so we're going to do Facebook Live and YouTube Live and all these things, but we want to make sure that if you're not available for those, you can get all this information via email. So will you sign up for that? That would be a great way to stay connected to the information at Church of the Gates and kind of what we're doing in this particular moment. Another thing you can do is if you have a phone and you're away from your computer or whatever, you can send in text prayers. You can text your prayer requests to 406-206-1988. On your phone, you can type that in. It'll pop up a link. You click on the link and you can fill out a form. So even if you're not nearby, you're not near your computer or anything, you can quickly just grab your phone, type it in, 406-206-1988. We'll send you a form that you can fill out the exact same thing. It'll go to our database. We'll be able to pray for you. And we just desire to be a part of your lives in this time. And so if you're already on Facebook, and if you're watching this and you're on YouTube, I want to kind of just take a step back, and because this video we're recording is going to go out to people who don't have Facebook and who don't have YouTube, to help them connect to us in this time. And so with Facebook, if you follow us, you'll see this page here, and you got to like our page to get any notifications from us. And inside that red circle, if you click the following button, this little menu will pop down, and you see I've got I get Church of the Gate stuff defaulted in my news feed, which is fine because I'm usually the one helping make the news in it, so I don't need to see it first. But I would encourage you to put it see first, and at the bottom where it's highlighted all on posts and offers, that gives you the ability to know when we're live streaming, gives you the ability to know when we posted something, so you can keep track of how we're trying to let you know what's going on. And so that's relatively easy. If you haven't done that yet on Facebook, I would encourage you to do that. One other thing we're doing on Sunday mornings is we're doing most of our broadcasting to YouTube as well. And so like last Sunday, we had something like 90 people on YouTube watching it on their TVs at home, and 45 watching it on Facebook. And so we want to continue to do that and give you the opportunity. So if you've got YouTube either on your phone or on your browser or on your TV, you go download the app, you log in, you're going to find us, you're going to search Church at the Gates. You're going to basically search Church at the Gates in the search bar, and then click subscribe. And that's going to have you create an account. And what's going to happen is this page is going to show up then where it says subscribed. And then you get to choose, you click that little bell right next to it, how alerted you want to be. And so you can personalize, you can create like all kinds of customization for what you're alerted for and what you're not, or you can just click all, and anytime we do a new video or a sermon, you can kind of log in with us there. And so our goal is to communicate as much as possible, as often as possible, to as many venues as possible, just because we're more disconnected than ever. So grab our app. If you don't have our app, sign up for our newsletter on our website, churchofthegates.org. You can scroll right down, put your email in, press submit, and that's it. You sign up to send us prayer requests, and you can text those in as well. Get on Facebook, make sure you're following us, follow your notifications, and get on YouTube and let them notify you as well. If you have a smart TV, you can watch us on your TV. Like, that's a great thing. You can sit on your couch and just relax. And so you can do that through Xbox or PS2s or PS3s. I don't have PS2s anymore. Doesn't matter. PS3s, PS4s, are there PS5s? I don't know. The whole point is there's so many devices. Your DVD player is probably a smart device that you could put YouTube on and go ahead and get our stuff, our content streamed to your TV, so that you don't have to worry. If you have an Apple TV or a Chromecast, I mean, there's just so many ways you can get it to your TV, and we want to make sure you can do that through YouTube. And so we're gonna put content up for you. Like this morning, we did a devotional on Psalm 50 and what it looked like to cultivate gratefulness, and how gratefulness helps really defeat fear, and gratefulness really defeats kind of these things. It really builds faith that you can grow in. And so Psalm 50, we did that this morning. We're going to do more of that. So that's kind of how to stay connected with Church of the Gates. And so if you get on those things, the app, the newsletter, the prayer thing, YouTube, Facebook, man, you are connected to us and we're connected to you. So I want to just kind of move real quick and just what it looks like for us to become connected to each other. And so, man, there's social distancing creates a lot of physical difficulties, right? Like, we can only be so close. And so what I want to do is I want to encourage you to do something. I'm going to call it 3x3, right? It's 3 people and 3 meaningful connections. And so what I want you to do right now is I want you to think of people in your missional community, people around you, people at church who you normally talk to on Sunday mornings, people who you share a cup of coffee with who now you can't. I want you to get a list of 3 people this week. They could be a friend, they could be a coworker, they could be missional. I mean, there's a ton of people that you could connect with, and I want you to have 3 meaningful connections. And so here's what I mean by that. A meaningful connection is one where they hear your voice or see your face, and then hear your voice. To be weird if you just send them a picture of yourself. But a meaningful connection is one where there is a conversation that's had, where you can hear tone of voice, where you can pray for each other. So like what I'm eliminating from that is text and email. Like, in an already disconnected world, and like as a millennial, I'm eliminating text for myself as a meaningful conversation. Like, that's hard for me. But to hear someone's voice and to have someone hear mine in a conversation is meaningful in these days. And so what I want to encourage you to create a list of 3 people. So husbands and wives, sons and daughters. I want you to create men and women. Create a list of three people who you can contact this week and have a meaningful conversation. Let me give you 3 questions for that. It's 3 by 3 by 3. Question 1 would be, how are you doing? And just let them talk. How are you doing at work? What's it like being quarantined? What's it like in the specter of maybe losing your job or not being able to go back to school? How are you doing with all that? Then ask the question, do you need anything? Do you need money? Do you need bills paid? Do you need food? Do you need encouragement? Like, what does it look like for us to be a generous people who desire to give in this particular moment? And then finally, how can I pray for you? And what I want you to do is, if they say, well, there's not much going on, say, okay, that's fine, but I'm going to pray for you anyway. And what I would encourage you to do is not to leave that conversation without praying for them right there. There's something really cathartic, and God has really created us for this kind of connection. He's created us that we would know each other, and we can do that over the phone. We can do that over FaceTime. We can do that from like 8 feet away, I guess. I don't know. But ask these 3 questions. 3 people this week, 3 meaningful connections. So that's 1 meaningful connection with each person. Ask 3 questions. How are you doing? Do you need anything? And how can I pray for you? And then pray for them on the phone, pray for them over FaceTime, so that you're doing the work of building these relationships. What you'll find is that when you feel calmer and you feel loved, and they will as well. And so as we think about just connecting to each other, I would encourage you, church, to go do that, to have these 3 meaningful connections, to be proactive. And maybe you're saying, well, I'm waiting for someone to contact me. Don't wait. Go and contact someone else. Be an encourager in these moments. Love one another well. If we do this, we're still going to miss each other on Sunday mornings, miss each other through the weeks, but we don't have to be alone in the isolation. So 3 people, 3 meaningful conversations, 3 questions. How are you doing? Do you need anything? How can I pray for you? And that'll help kind of weather the storm. And so that you know, I'm in the works of creating just some pilot Zoom groups for men and women who can connect, and I've got some people thinking about leading those. And we want to keep you connected. We love you, and we want you to feel the love of one another. So be proactive in this moment. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while. Think of the people who are lonely, who are more vulnerable. Think of single moms. Think of pregnant moms. Think of moms who just had babies. I mean, there's just so many people we need to contact, and our staff and others just can't do it all, but we can love one another well. So stay connected in that. And so let me just ask one other question that I think is important. How can we grow as a family during this crisis? And what I mean is, how can I grow my family during this crisis? That right now, you think about, like, we are being forced to hang out with each other, which, is not a bad thing at all. It's great. But for a lot of us, that means all of our schedules are now out of whack. There's no more travel teams. There's no more school. There's no more, and from this, there's no more work. And so the family is all of a sudden together, for good or bad. Right? Like you see all these memes about 9 months from now, there are going to be a generation of babies born. They're going to call them the coronials. Like, that's hilarious to me, but it's true. The family has come together now, has been forced together. And so what does it look like for you to reclaim margin in your life? That most moms and dads look at their life and say, man, I wish I could change this. I wish I could change that. Well, now's that time. Because what you did a week ago now is almost impossible to do. And so moms and dads, you get to reclaim dinner together. You can say, hey, we're going to have dinner together at 5 or 5:30, and because I love you and I miss you. And by the way, you can't go anywhere anyway. You can reclaim game nights. You can start playing Monopoly, like our kids played Monopoly for 2 hours today. Apparently, Zoe auctioned off one of the properties for $12. That's a good deal. I wouldn't play with her. She's a hustler. Or you can reclaim movie nights. What can you do together as a family? And I would say this to the men and the women. This is a perfect time to reclaim and to reinstitute spiritual leadership. And what I mean by that is there are going to be so much more time together that you can capitalize and not give to Netflix, right? And capitalize and not give to Disney Plus. I want to show you something. We do. We give to every member at our church, and anyone really who wants it. Don't have to be a member of the church. If you're watching this and you're in Afghanistan, you can grab this. If you go to our church website, churchatthegates.org, and you click the media tab and click Right Now Media, you're going to come to a page that looks like this. And at the very bottom of that, you can click, if you would like access, click here. And that signs you up under our account. And again, you don't have to go to our church. You don't have to be a believer. But Right Now Media gives you access to all kinds of Bible studies, all kinds of materials for free that are really high quality, high production value, and really, really good. And so the menu looks like this. Like if you see if you're looking at it, the bottom lower left-hand corner there, The Real God, that Chip Ingram, Real God, that's 3 to 5 minutes of video with some questions. That's a family devotional you could do this week and start to reclaim ground in that area. And so as a family, like I totally get the question of, man, this really messes things up and it creates a ton of problems and a ton of weight from moms and dads at home. But I think one of the questions we need to ask as families is, how can we grow? Like 8 weeks from now or 6 weeks from now, whenever this is subsided and we can go back out and go our separate ways as family again, like how can our families be different if we took some ground? And so what new habits could we take? I want to encourage you this week just to think of that, moms. Maybe that's just praying with your family at a meal. Maybe that's praying for each other around the table. Maybe that's watching a short video. Let me pop that back up. Actually, if you're looking at this, where's his family devotional studies right under there? Jesus, Messiah, King, 5-minute family devotionals. If you've got a younger family like we do, that is gold. It's literally 5 minutes. It prompts you how to ask questions and what to pray for. It is great, and our kids loved it. There's a lot of ground to be taken for us, for my family, even in this regard, to grow spiritually together. And so I'd encourage you to do that. Because what we're going to do this Sunday, we're going to live stream, but we're going to take communion. So I'm going to lead communion on the live stream, and so I'm going to encourage you as families to take communion together. And tomorrow and on Thursday and on Friday, we're going to release content that'll help you kind of discern. What about my kids? How should I talk to them about this? And should my older kids take it? And should I force them? And what is communion? Because moms and dads, I want you to lead this for your kids. And I'm going to give you space to do that, because just because we can't be together doesn't mean you can't be together with your family and take communion. It'll be awkward, but it'll be sweet together. So that's what's coming this week. We're excited for it. You'll see me popping up 3 times a week or so in the morning at about 8 or 8:15 to do a quick 10-minute devotional on a psalm that I think is helpful for us. And so we look forward to providing a ton of resources for you. Next week, we're going to have a guy come online and we're going to do an interview with him of what it looks like to reorder finances in this time. How do we change our finances to make sure that we can be protected and really trust God diligently with it, and kind of look at all the financial issues that come with the pandemic and come with losing your job. And so we're gonna look to help any way we can stay connected and love you all. So that's all I've got. I am grateful to be your pastor, glad to be here with you, even if it's just like this. So thank you for inviting me in with you this evening. I'm going to let you go. You have a good evening. Enjoy your families, and we'll talk to you later.